organization. In recognition of our gathering on these lands for TCAF 2018, the festival has made a donation to Native Child and Family Services of Toronto, and we look forward to increasing our support and programs for Indigenous creators in the years to come. TCAF would also like to thank the Seneca College's Faculty of Communication, Art, and Design who are the sponsor of the programming this weekend. And also to recognize our sponsors, the Big Island, Little Island Comics, Toronto Public Library, our media sponsor, Now Magazine, and the generous support of the Canadian Council of the Arts, the Ontario Arts Council, and the Toronto Arts Council. So as David is grabbing a seat, I'm going to quickly introduce our speakers today. We have with us a kind of murderer's row of cartooning talent from France, from Quebec, from Italy, via France. I'll introduce each of them, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about this kind of status and the scene of comics in France at the current moment. We won't be speaking maybe as directly about some of their works, but I will point out that all of our presenters here this morning also have spotlight panels or other panels during the weekend, so there's other opportunities to hear them speak directly about their work. So immediately beside me to my right is Yvonne Alec-Bey. Yvonne is a cartoonist and editor, publisher from France, one of the founders of Amok, later Fred Muck, one of the most important alternative, independent, avant-gardist publishers in Europe. This year, his book, Yellow Negroes and Other Imaginary Creatures, has finally been translated into English by the New York Review of Books. Beside him is Julie Rochelot, joining us from Montreal. She is the author, or the illustrator, most recently of About Betty's Boobs from Archaia, which is written by Barrow Tezel. Beside her, David Bay, who is well known, I think, for many works in English, including, of course, Epileptic, which I, as a young critic, once said in the Comic Journal was the greatest comic book ever published, which got me in a lot of trouble from people who said that I was being hyperbolic, but I think it's still a defensible statement. His most recent books in English include Hasiba, the Queen of Serpents, out now from NBN, and the third volume of Best of Enemies from Self-Made Hero. Beside him, we have Thomas, I'm sorry, I've
Thomas Clotet,
who is the director of the
Quebec City Comic Festival.
There you go, Quebec City Comic Festival.
Is there for translation.
He's going to help us if we stumble on some of our words. Beside Thomas is Louis Trondheim, one of the co-founders, along with David B. of L'Association, back in 1990, a publisher that helped change the face of cartooning in France and across Europe. He's the author of many, 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 many books. Too many books. Among
not too many, but 200.
200 books, including the.
You have to say all the titles of my books now.
Try to do them alphabetically, beginning with approximativement and going through, including, I think, most recently in English, a new volume of the Little Nothings autobiographical series from NBN, and as an illustrator, Poppies of Iraq, from Drawn and Quarterly. Poppies of Iraq, of course, is written by Louis's wife and longtime collaborator, Brigitte Finicli, who's best known, I think, as a colorist for some of the major French comics magazines in France, like Journal de Mickey, but also as a colorist on many of the kind of most important works of the past 2 decades that have been integral to what we often call the bande dessinée des auteurs movement. So please join me, first off, in welcoming our guests this morning. So on Thursday night at the Alliance Française, we had a panel featuring these same 5 individuals. We did it in French, and I guess this morning we do it in English. And Louis asked Yvonne at the end of, or at the middle of that, why he does so few comics. I thought maybe I'd start this morning by asking the opposite. Why does Lewis, why do you do so many comics? And can you talk a little, as you did on Thursday, about the scale of production in France right now? I think you mentioned there are more than 5,000 books now coming out in the French comics market every year.
Yeah. I will speak in French because it will be easier for me, and Thomas will have to work. I'm sorry about that. Pourquoi je fais autant de livres aussi?
Why do I do so much books?
Non, la question c'est plutôt pourquoi les autres ne font pas autant de livres.
The question is more why others don't do that many books.
Et c'est vrai qu'il y a 30 ans en France, il y avait 500 livres qui étaient publiés chaque année et maintenant on en est à 5500.
So 30 years ago, there were around 500 books being published in French, and now we're around 5,000.
Il y a à peu près 2000 auteurs de bande dessinée francophones.
There's around 2,000 authors in French in Belgium,
Mais à peu près 200-250 auteurs vivent vraiment de la bande dessinée.
but around 200 authors live off of comics.
Les autres font de la bande dessinée, mais aussi font d'autres travaux comme de l'illustration, de la publicité ou du professorat.
So the others have to do other work to get by doing illustration, teaching, and publicity.
Et si je fais autant de livres, c'est que j'aime vraiment beaucoup la bande dessinée. Et pour moi, c'est plus un moyen d'écrire qu'autre chose, un moyen de m'exprimer.
So why I do that many books is I really love comics, and for me, it's a means of expression.
The situation that you describe is one where 100 books are coming out every week, and so I wonder about the kinds of difficulties that you have as artists and as publishers. As
Oui,
you are.
il y a beaucoup de problèmes de limbago chez les libraires.
There's a lot of back problems with the librarians.
Et beaucoup de livres qui sont publiés ne sont même pas en librairie. Les libraires ne les choisissent pas.
So a lot of books that are being published don't even get to be in the bookstores.
Il y a 30 ans, la moyenne des livres vendus, c'était 10 000 exemplaires par livre.
So a while ago, the usual amount of books being sold for one publication was around 10,000.
Maintenant, c'est plus proche de 2500 à 3000 exemplaires par titre.
And now it's more around 2,500 to 3,000.
Et donc tout le monde n'a pas forcément la place d'être en librairie parce qu'il y a beaucoup effectivement de changements chaque semaine.
So it's hard to get into the bookstores because there are so many books and changes every week.
Mais je pense aussi qu'on sort d'une grande période d'âge d'or de la bande dessinée en France.
So we're getting out of a golden age of comics in Europe.
Il y a eu un premier âge d'or avec les Franquin, Hergé, Astérix.
So the first golden age would be with Franquin, Hergé, and Astérix.
Oui, c'est un
Uderzo.
auteur. Astérix, c'est un auteur, absolument. Et il y a eu une deuxième période d'âge d'or, à mon avis, dans les années 2000 à 2015, avec beaucoup d'auteurs, beaucoup de titres, un éventail de styles graphiques et narratifs incroyables.
So a second golden age came around from the year 2000 to 2015 with a lot of variety in the books that were published.
Et maintenant, je sens que ça retombe un peu, mais je me demande si c'est pas à cause de mon âge. Comme j'ai plus de 50 ans, peut-être que parce que je deviens un peu ronchon et trop vieux.
So he thinks it's now starting to recede, but it might be his age, as he's 50 now.
I'm wondering if you can talk, Yvonne and David as well, a little bit about the origins of the kind of new golden age in the early 1990s. Certainly there were important editors and publishers doing great work in the 1980s, like Etienne Robial, Futuropolis, but it seems to me that the creation of EMAC and Fréon and l'Association and others, Cornelius, really marked a beginning of a new age, this kind of beginning of the new age, and I'm wondering, are there the type of opportunities for young cartoonists today to make the type of change, to mark that kind of change that your generation, and you as artists and publishers specifically, were able to make 25, 28, 30 years ago?
It's quite a difficult and long question. Is it working? Yeah. Maybe I can speak speak a little bit louder. I think the situation is really completely different, and a lot of young artists now have the opportunity to make what they like. I mean, there's a lot of fanzines and a lot of publication, a lot of publisher. I don't know the number of publishers really in France, but if you count everything, the small one, we really have a lot, and everybody can, if you want to do your stuff, you can do your own publishing. And of course, then after with all those things, it completely changed, because maybe because of so many different books, it's more difficult to exist in a way, to make the people able to see you, but you also have internet, so you cannot still can connect with a lot of people, because we didn't have internet at the time we began. We had to use paper mail, and we had some subscribers, and we send newsletter, but newsletter was on paper at that time, and so I think it's completely different, but back at the beginning of the 90s, there was so few publishers, and that it was easy to be outside the mainstream, outside the system, and it was the very beginning where you can, as individual, get enough, get a computer, try to make a layout, try to get something printed. I think that the technological change brings a lot of opportunity to people. I mean, most of the time, we can be using as professionals the same tools that anybody can use them. I mean, anybody can have a computer, maybe even better than what we've got, and do something. Well, I don't know exactly what to say, but at that time the situation was really different, and the market was held by maybe 5 publishers, and they would do books like very, if they would be wanting to publish something only if it looks like something that they already sold. I don't know if I'm clear.
Yeah, I mean, it was publishers were seeking to capitalize on the success of Moebius by finding people that could draw like Moebius and create stories like that. If it was a success, they would try to copy that success.
Yeah, and so if you want to do something different, it was really easy to be put outside. But then after the artists got together to publish themselves and do something else, and so it was quite a big change for an artistic change, but also publishing change, because the object was the kind of book we'll be making will be different as well as the artwork itself.
Je pense que c'est beaucoup plus facile maintenant pour un jeune auteur d'être publié.
So I believe it's now easier for a young author to be published.
Et c'est pas parce qu'on va être un auteur bon, intéressant, qu'on va forcément bien vendre.
And it's not that we are an interesting author that we're going to sell more.
Des gens comme Blutch, par exemple, vendent 15 000 exemplaires, 20 000 maximum.
So authors like Blutch would sell around 15,000 copies.
Et même à l'époque, un auteur comme Moebius, quand il ne travaillait pas sur l'Incal, vendait assez peu.
And even an author like Moebius, if he wasn't working on L'Incal, didn't sell that much.
Mais il y a un paradoxe assez intéressant, c'est qu'avec un tel foisonnement d'auteurs, il y a des livres d'un seul coup qui sortent de nulle part et qui sont incroyables.
So what's interesting is with that many authors being published, there are some surprises, books that come out that are really amazing.
Par exemple, il y a 2 ans, il y a un livre de Fab Caro qui s'appelle Zai 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 qui est sorti et qui a vendu plus de 200 000 exemplaires.
So like a couple of years ago, a book by Fab Caro came out called Zai 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 Zai, and it sold 200,000 copies.
Et personne n'a vu ça venir du tout. Et avec un dessin un peu maladroit.
And people didn't see that coming, and even the drawing was approximate at some point.
Quand on a publié Marjane Satrapi, Persepolis en 2000, la première édition était à 2000 exemplaires.
So the first edition of Persepolis in 2000 was just 2,000 copies.
Et on en a vendu plus d'1 million d'exemplaires en totalité 10 ans plus tard.
And they sold more than 1 million copies 10 years later.
Donc il y a des belles histoires qui peuvent arriver, mais je pense aussi que c'est pas parce que... Il n'y a plus d'auteurs maudits maintenant. Si on est bon, on va être lu.
The authors, if you're good, you're going to be read.
C'est tellement un plaisir pour les gens sur Internet de montrer des choses qui sont intéressantes, de partager. On ne peut plus être seul dans son coin et dire personne ne me reconnaît alors que je suis génial.
So it's so easy now to promote yourself on internet that if you're good, it's fun to be seen by others and to promote your work.
Et si on se demande pourquoi on n'a pas de lecteurs, bah c'est qu'on est mauvais.
And if you ask yourself why you don't have readers, it's that you're not good.
I'm wondering, maybe I'll go to David on this, but I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about the way the different presses interact in France. So you're somebody that's published very personal work like Cheval Blême and L'Association d'Ormel through l'Association, and then other historical tales and so on with some of the larger, more traditional publishers. I'm just wondering how you see the balance between the smaller presses, the smaller independent presses, and the larger presses as it exists in France now.
I think I prefer to speak in English too, because it's more easy for me. In French, sorry. Or in Italian, if you want. Et oui, bah, moi j'ai toujours travaillé, en fait j'ai une carrière un peu particulière, parce que j'ai commencé à travailler pour des grands éditeurs avant de travailler pour l'édition indépendante.
So I have a particular path as I started off working with big editors to move on then to more independent editors.
Je travaillais je faisais des bandes dessinées pour enfants surtout au départ. Et pour moi, le monde de l'édition indépendante, c'est-à-dire l'association, c'est la première. Enfin, j'ai travaillé un peu dans des fanzines avant, dans quelques fanzines, parce que j'étais pas satisfait de ce que je faisais dans l'édition enfantine, et je cherchais à faire quelque chose de plus personnel.
So I started off with doing youth comic, but as I wasn't really satisfied with just doing that, I also worked in some fanzine before going to independent editors.
Et comme ça, je suis arrivé à l'association, en fait.
And that's how I got to l'association.
Mais bon, tout en travaillant à l'association, j'ai continué à travailler pour des grands éditeurs de toute façon. J'ai été un des auteurs à l'association qui a tout de suite été contacté par Dargaud, qui voyant ce qui se passait, enfin les grands éditeurs ont tout de suite senti quand même qu'il se passait quelque chose là d'intéressant. Et on est quelques auteurs comme Lewis ou Johann Sfar ou moi à l'époque à avoir été contactés par des grands éditeurs pour travailler pour eux.
So even while working at l'association, I still worked with big editors, and he was one of the first to be contacted by Dargaud, who smelled that there was a new movement that was interesting, and then other authors from l'association followed.
Et c'était aussi un choix économique, j'avais besoin de gagner ma vie, et c'est vrai qu'à l'époque les grands éditeurs payaient bien, ce qui n'est plus tout à fait le cas maintenant. Donc moi en fait je finançais mon travail à l'association, qui était très mal payé au début de l'association, en travaillant pour les grands éditeurs.
So it was also an economic choice, as big editors had paid well, which wasn't the case for l'association at that time. So he financed his project at l'association by working with big editors on other projects.
Je me souviens que j'avais toujours deux projets en même temps. J'en avais un pour Dargaud ou pour un autre éditeur, et toujours un pour l'association.
So he always had two projects going on at the same time, one for l'association and one for Dargaud or other big editors.
So do I. 3 or 4 in the same time, or 5. Mais peut-être on peut revenir à l'aspect économique, c'est-à-dire que en France, un album classique cartonné 48 pages couleur est payé en moyenne 20 000 €.
So getting back to the economic question, a classical album in France with the hardcover 48 pages color is paid around 20,000 euros.
pour des auteurs classiques, on va dire.
for the classical authors.
Mais de plus en plus, il y a des formats différents et des livres qui se vendent moins. Et de plus en plus, les éditeurs payent avec une enveloppe globale. Au début, on était payé à la page, autour de 400 € la page. Et maintenant, on est payé peut-être, enfin, des auteurs, des jeunes auteurs sont payés.
Toi, t'étais payé 400 €. J'ai jamais eu 400 €.
Et toi 3000 € la page.
So as format changed and books developed, editors started changing how they worked. They used to pay by pages, around 400 € per page, but now they're paying with a global amount for the whole book.
Voilà, il y a un forfait, et les forfaits peuvent aller de 0 à 10 000 €.
And now these envelopes can vary from 0 to 10,000 €.
Ça dépend. Mais en fait, c'est une question de marché. C'est-à-dire, plus l'auteur est connu, plus il va pouvoir négocier le contrat et l'argent, plus on va être jeune, plus ça va être compliqué de bien gagner sa vie au début.
So it goes with the market. As more, if you're an author that is more well known, you can negotiate your fee more easily, and it's hard for a young author to go that way.
Alors qu'avant, il y avait un seul format en gros, et les jeunes auteurs qui commençaient étaient payés normalement.
Yeah, before the young authors were paid about the same amount as well-known authors for a similar book.
I was wondering, Brigitte, if maybe you could talk a little bit about the changes that have been experienced with the larger magazines. Certainly the tradition of serialized work was being very, very important in France for very many decades, but there's been a collapse of the sales of the traditional comics magazines. I'm just wondering if you could talk a little bit about that, and also the kinds of changes perhaps that have affected colorists in the industry as a result of technological change, but also the types of issues that Lewis is talking about. It's also seen in your domain, in coloring and so on.
I will sing it during the translation. La 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 la. It was a very long question, but you have to do smaller questions.
C'est vrai qu'il y a effectivement moins de magazines qu'à l'époque où j'ai commencé la bande dessinée, c'est-à-dire il y a 35 ans.
So it's true that there's a lot less comic magazines now in France and Europe than when Brigitte started 35 years ago.
Mais c'est vrai que j'ai eu la chance finalement, moi, quand j'ai débuté, donc j'ai travaillé pour Pif Gadget. Ensuite, j'ai enchaîné avec le journal de Mickey, qui existe toujours d'ailleurs, le journal de Mickey. Et là, depuis une dizaine d'années, je travaille pour le journal Spirou.
Okay. So she was lucky starting 35 years ago, beginning with Pif Gadget and then Mickey magazine, which still exists. And for the last 10 years, she's been working with Spirou magazine.
Mais ce qu'il faut savoir, c'est que pour une coloriste, c'est pas forcément un passage obligé de travailler pour un journal. Le plaisir est bien plus grand quand on travaille directement avec un auteur pour un album.
So it's not obligated for a colorist to work with magazines and journals. It's in a sense, it's more pleasurable to work with an author and to have a relation with their work.
Quand j'ai travaillé, donc quand j'ai commencé, j'ai travaillé pour Pif Gadget et après pour le journal de Mickey. Il faut reconnaître que c'était pour moi un travail alimentaire. Ça me permettait de payer mon loyer, mais c'était pas pour le plaisir, parce qu'en fait, il y avait une charte, il fallait respecter la couleur des personnages et puis abattre un certain nombre de pages par semaine.
So starting off in magazines like Pif Gadget and Mickey was, in a sense, just to pay rent and to get by, as there wasn't that creative input because there was colors to respect for all the series she was working on.
Après, quand j'ai eu donc la chance de travailler avec des auteurs directement, Là, évidemment, le plaisir était différent. Quand j'ai commencé, pendant une bonne quinzaine d'années, à l'époque, les couleurs se faisaient au pinceau, sur des planches, on appelait ça des bleus, c'est-à-dire c'est la reproduction de la planche originale, mais réduite au format parution.
So she was lucky 15 years ago to start working with authors, and it's really another thing, because when she started, she was using paintbrushes and working directly on what they call bleu, which is reproductions of the original artwork, but in a light blue color.
Et depuis une vingtaine d'années, maintenant, l'essentiel de la couleur se fait sur ordinateur, notamment sur Photoshop.
Yeah. And for the last 20 years now, most of the colors are done with the computers on Photoshop.
Et avec donc l'arrivée de Photoshop, le nombre de coloristes, je pense, a été multiplié au moins par 2.
And the arrival of computer work for color had the impact that there was a lot more people doing colors now.
Parce que comme il n'y avait plus la technique qu'il fallait apprendre, du coup, bon, c'est tout de suite plus... ça paraît plus simple, ce dont je ne suis pas d'accord, mais en tout cas, c'est vrai qu'il y a beaucoup de gens se sont mis à faire de la couleur et pas forcément d'une façon très très professionnelle.
Yeah, so the craft changed a lot, but some people have the perception that it got easier, which isn't really the case, because there's a lot more people doing colors, but not necessarily good coloring.
Et il m'est déjà arrivé d'entendre des auteurs me dire ah mais ma sœur cherche du travail, ou mon cousin pourrait me donner un coup de main, et du coup voilà, il suffit d'installer le programme et regarder un petit peu sur ce qui se fait, puis essayer de reproduire plus ou moins la même chose. Mais en fait, bon, c'est vrai que le résultat, enfin moi en tant que coloriste, je suis un peu, voilà, je vois la différence entre un vrai professionnel et quelqu'un qui va se mettre à colorier comme ça, parce que c'est pas très compliqué en soi, effectivement, d'utiliser l'ordinateur.
So she's often heard authors saying that they have a relative or a friend that needs work and they could just install the program and do colors. But as a professional, there's really a difference that you can see by looking at what it does. It's not that easy.
Il y a aussi quand même avec le changement au niveau des journaux en Europe, en France, il y a un changement qui se fait au niveau des jeunes auteurs, parce qu'avant les jeunes auteurs étaient essayés, testés au sein du magazine, alors que maintenant ils sont testés directement avec un album en librairie, et c'est un peu le casse-pipe.
So one of the other changes that happened with the changes in magazines, comic magazine, is that a while back, young authors were tested in magazines, so the series were put out, and if the readers, if they get readers, then they get promoted to albums. But now young authors are directly going to albums.
And it's dangerous for them, because if it doesn't work, they will be published anymore after.
Donc, en français.
Julie, you're one of you're the youngest of the authors up here. I was wondering what thoughts you might have about negotiating these kinds of dangers that have been outlined, and how you found an audience for your work in Europe as well as here in Canada.
I don't have much negotiating power yet. So basically we go with whoever says yes first, and they always have
They're the one with the
stick
power.
all the time. So,
Right.
we're kind of just happy to sign something somewhere most of the time.
Where do you fit in? Are you getting? I mean, is it the social media that helps to drive attention to your books? Is it the publisher? Is it hand selling at festivals?
I'm not that good with social medias. Of course it helps, but probably that's not the biggest part of it. Usually the publisher does most of the work, and that depends on the publisher and what kind of network they have. Sorry. Let's say I made a book at La Pastèque, which is I guess well known, and they make a lot of nice books, but you cannot find them everywhere in Europe. you know, it's a pretty book that goes sometimes with the hard books.
Right.
Editor like Dargaud has a publisher like Dargaud has a much broader range, yeah. Reach, sorry. And I don't have much decision power in there. I just cross my finger and hope that it will land in the hand of the right person who's going to talk about it in a nice and engaging way. And that's really the bookseller's game. So
I wonder,
I don't know what to add.
maybe this is a question for everyone. If you had the power to simply make one change to comics in France to improve the situation, what would it be? Better distribution, more readers, perhaps, I guess. Get rid of all the authors that Lewis says have no audience. We could reduce that number. I mean, is it a structural problem? I mean, are there supports that are working well, or are there things that are sort of in drastic need of change?
Well, I have the feeling, and I'm not the only one, that the traditional publishing houses have grown old and they rely on principles that do not work anymore. I don't know what we could do. I know that now a lot of younger artists, they self-publish, and sometimes it works very well for them. They manage to reach out to people without the help of a middle person. I guess there are alternative ways to make your work known now. I'm not sure exactly what they are, because so far I've only worked with the big publishing houses. But I'm curious about them, and I think that's probably a good step forward in the future. I don't know.
Okay. I want to turn, see if there are questions from the audience. I'm sure there are. Yeah.
I was sort of curious if you have a sense that there are particular genres of French comics that do better in translation, or there's more of an appetite for translated French comics. My sense is that it's often the autobio type of comics that get translations, and I'm wondering if there's some genres of French comics that we're just not seeing, or that there's a sense that they don't translate well.
Il y a ce qu'on appelle le franco-belge classique, Gronet, comme Astérix, qui vend beaucoup, mais qui se traduit assez peu.
So there's comic books, humor comic books, Franco-Belge, which like Asterix and other big nose and funny drawings that don't really get translated elsewhere.
Et en fait, je me demandais pourquoi, et en fait, c'est parce que le code du Gronet passe très, très mal à l'étranger. Les Japonais détestent les Gronets comme ça, et les Nord-Américains aussi, c'est pareil, ils n'aiment pas.
And he was asking why, but what he discovered is that the type of drawing with big nose and exaggerated feature is not something that passes well in America or Asia.
En fait, il y a 3 grands pôles de création de bande dessinée à travers le monde. Il y a le Japon avec les mangas, les États-Unis avec les super-héros, et le franco-belge avec le Gronet.
So there are 3 principal markets, the manga in Asia, superheroes in America, and the Franco-Belge in Europe.
Ces 3 domaines-là sont très codés depuis des décennies.
So these 3 markets have really codes that are established for a long time.
Et à part ces 3 grands domaines-là, il existe, on va dire, le domaine un peu plus indépendant, qui lui va être transversal et qui va être beaucoup plus facilement lisible par des lecteurs étrangers de tout pays.
And besides those 3 types of comic books, there are independent comics books which have a tendency to be more well received everywhere because it's more universal.
Et ce sont des travaux généralement plus d'auteurs, que ce soit des travaux de fiction, ou autobiographiques ou de reportage.
So it's more often works of specific authors and different types.
Donc c'est logique qu'à l'étranger, la partie la plus visible en France, en tout cas de gros nez, n'existe pas. C'est parce qu'il n'y a pas cette culture-là qui est là en Amérique du Nord.
So it's logical that Franco-Belge comics are not that well known here because it's not in the culture here.
Alors que la façon de raconter des bandes dessinées comme nous le faisons ici, de manière plus naturelle, comme une écriture, c'est plus lisible par un lecteur qui n'a pas l'habitude de lire de bandes dessinées.
And the way they work by treating comics as a writing, how they do their comics, it's more natural for readers who don't necessarily know European comics.
Et en fait, cette bande dessinée Gros Nez, elle n'est pas traduite non plus dans les autres pays d'Europe. En Italie, on ne les trouve pas, ces trucs-là.
And Franco-Belge comics are not necessarily translated in other European countries like Italy or Spain.
Les productions, et par exemple les grosses productions italiennes, ce qui correspondrait à l'équivalent italien qui est la Bonelli, qui publie beaucoup de westerns ou de choses comme ça, qui est très classique. Ils ont essayé de publier ça en France, ça n'a jamais marché.
And even comics from Italy, which are a different style with more Western and Dylan Dog and stuff like that, they tried to translate it for the French market and it didn't work.
Il y a vraiment des productions, c'est vrai que les grosses productions locales, elles restent très locales.
C'est très culturellement marqué.
Ouais.
So the big production in different countries often stay in their country because it's culturally really strong.
Et quand je vois les textes, les Dylan Dog, tout ça, quand je les lis, je vois rien de spécifiquement italien. Enfin, c'est pas parlé en dialecte, ça se passe pas forcément en Italie, mais apparemment c'est intraduisible.
So by reading magazines like Text or Dylan Dog, he doesn't really see specific things that make it that it wouldn't work elsewhere, but it really just didn't pick up.
It's interesting, I would say, on the regional issue that a series that sells millions of copies like Titeuf is almost unheard of in Canada and the United States and hasn't been widely translated into a lot of foreign languages. The language of Zepp's cartooning seems to be very specific, despite the massive sales in France.
Oui, mais je pense qu'il y a le cas un peu partout. Par exemple, il y a un auteur qui s'appelle Liniers qui est ici cette année au TICAF, qui est argentin et qui vend des dizaines de milliers d'exemplaires en Argentine, qui est dans tous les journaux en Argentine et qui est presque pas connu à l'étranger.
So there's a lot of examples of that. Like there's an Argentinian author at TICAF this year called Liniers, who sells tens of thousands of copies of his books in Argentina, but he's not really known elsewhere.
Et j'ai appris qu'il venait juste de signer maintenant avec le Kingfisher Syndicate, je crois, pour être publié aux États-Unis.
And he just signed with the Kingfisher Syndicate to be published in newspapers in America.
Mais je suis très curieux de voir le résultat parce que c'est un travail très poétique, absurde qu'il fait. Je ne sais pas si ce sera très facilement assimilable par des lecteurs nord-américains.
Being a poetic work, and it's really different what is published in America now. He's really curious to see how it's going to be, the reception it's going to get.
Other questions? Yeah.
How have some of the changes in the industry and the production side that you were discussing, how has that affected the community of creators that work independently and sometimes collectively? Has it changed the community that we work in?
Je pense que la communauté d'auteurs, en tout cas en France, est très particulière. On est parmi toutes les industries de narration, télévision, cinéma, etc. On est les seuls à avoir autant de communication, d'interaction, d'échange et de travailler ensemble.
So he feels that there's a really particular thing about the French comic scene compared to other mediums. It's one that where authors have lots of communications between each other.
Il y a beaucoup de collaborations, scénaristes, dessinateurs, des expériences. On se voit très souvent dans des festivals.
So there's a lot of collaboration between authors and illustrators, and they often see each other in festivals also.
On voit pas du tout ça au cinéma ou en littérature.
And you don't see that much in cinema and literature.
Mais c'est peut-être aussi parce que on fait un travail très solitaire et quand on se retrouve, on est content de se voir et d'essayer de faire des choses ensemble.
It might also be that it's a solitary work, and when you see each other in festival and different settings, it's always fun.
Et depuis 6-7 ans, il y a un syndicat qui a été créé pour aider les auteurs.
And about 6 or 7 years ago, there's a syndicate that was created to help authors.
Donc on s'est fédéré finalement, alors qu'on est très indépendant, pour pouvoir se battre contre la mondialisation et la crise qui monte.
So even if it's independent work, by getting together, it's a way to face the now crisis or the but it's a new way to work together for the new things that are coming.
Mais autant il y a effectivement une crise avec beaucoup de livres qui sortent, mais il y a aussi une crise financière, c'est-à-dire que les auteurs gagnent moins et doivent payer plus de taxes.
So there's a crisis with the number of books coming out, but there's also a financial crisis where the authors gain less money, but they have to pay more taxes.
Et là, on n'a aucune réponse du gouvernement. Récemment, en fait, on doit payer 8% de nos gains en plus par an pour notre retraite complémentaire. Et c'est obligatoire.
So they now have to pay 8% of the money they gain for the
pension plan.
Pension plan, yeah.
8% more.
More.
And it's mandatory and there is no way to escape it.
Hmm?
And it's mandatory and there is no way to escape it.
No.
Et 8%, ça veut dire que c'est un mois de salaire en moins pour les auteurs.
So 8% is a month of wages less for the authors.
Et il n'y a aucune compensation offerte.
And there is no way to get around that.
And no way to escape.
Est-ce que c'est bien la maison des artistes? Non.
The SNAC?
Le SNAC.
Snack BD.
National Syndicate of Comic Authors.
Yes.
So there's been over the last 10 years or so in the American comics market, a move where the traditional prose publishers have all started opening up comics imprints to greater and lesser success depending on the publisher. So I'm wondering if there's something similar that's been happening in the French comic market where traditional publishers have started publishing comics, or is it all still mostly comics-focused publishers?
En France, il y a pas mal d'auteurs et d'éditeurs qui font des travaux un petit peu différents. C'est vrai que le marché du manga en France représente à peu près 30%.
So the manga market in France is around 30%.
Donc il y a beaucoup d'auteurs français qui font un peu comme du manga.
So there's some French authors that do manga-style comics.
Le pourcentage de super-héros, de comics en France, c'est à peu près 10% du marché.
So superheroes account for about 10% of the market in France.
Donc il y a beaucoup moins d'auteurs qui s'investissent là-dedans.
So there's a lot less authors that go towards that path.
Et puis c'est difficile parce que faire du comics de super-héros, ça veut dire qu'il faut vraiment viser un public aussi américain derrière. Et les Américains, généralement, n'aiment pas que des étrangers fassent comme eux, de la même façon que au niveau du Japon, les Japonais n'aiment pas voir des mangas faits par des Français.
So it's hard to go in those markets because Americans don't really like to see authors from other countries doing superheroes. As in Japan and other Asian countries, they don't respond well to foreign authors doing manga.
Your question was about some publisher having a comics department now. Is that it? Yeah.
Like
And
yeah. And those sort of
But
publishers.
we had that in France since quite a lot of years. That big company. I remember even back in the 90s, there was Le Seuil started, which is one of the major publishing house in France. They started to their children book department started to make some comics, and they would work with some people from l'association like Lewis and some other artists like Martin Tom Dick. So they did publish since the beginning. It has happened, and now I think today a publishing house like Gallimard, so a very old and traditional one, has several different labels, several different labels for comics.
Je vais faire un aparté qui n'a pas grand-chose à voir, mais c'est intéressant quand même. Vas-y.
So you want to diverge a bit from the discussion.
J'ai remarqué en fait que au niveau des publications d'auteurs francophones aux États-Unis et au Canada, ça se faisait parce que les éditeurs étaient très francophiles.
So he realized that the French authors were published in America is often the result that the editors themselves like what is done in France.
Que ce soit Chris Oliveros avec Brandon Quarterly, Thierry Lantier, NBM, Mark Siegel avec First Second, ou anciennement Kim Thompson avec Fantagraphics, c'est tous des éditeurs qui aiment la bande dessinée française, mais il n'y a pas du tout d'intérêt d'autres maisons d'édition qui ne connaissent pas ou qui n'ont pas cette curiosité-là. Chez les autres, ça ne les intéresse pas.
So editors like Drawing Quarterly, First Second Books, and others that he's named are really curious about what is done in France and Europe, but others, which are more general, don't really have that curiosity.
But they are curious because they like French culture of comics. Et ils savent tous parler français.
Okay, and they all speak French also.
Kim Thompson, c'était un fan de Machereau, justement, et des bandes dessinées gros nez franco-belges. Il était vraiment fan de ça, quoi. Je me souviens qu'on plaisantait souvent autour de ça.
So Thompson was a fan of Machereau's work. He's the author of Chlorophylle, a series of them, and that type of comics, which is more Franco-Belgian comics.
Donc c'est rassurant pour nous, auteurs francophones, d'avoir des éditeurs comme ça qui aiment la bande dessinée française. Et c'est vrai que le manque de curiosité des autres fait un peu peur.
So it's reassuring to have allies like them, but it's scary to see that the others don't have that curiosity.
Mais justement, à contrario, est-ce qu'en France, est-ce qu'en France, les maisons d'édition sont aussi ouvertes à la diversité, et est-ce qu'on a autant accès à la BD francophone québécoise et tout ça? Pas vraiment, et même dans la presse, il n'y a pas cette place-là qui est faite.
Si, absolument. En France, c'est le pays qui est le plus ouvert à toutes les formes de bande dessinée à travers le monde. Je parlais de 30% pour le manga, 10% pour le comics de super-héros, et les bandes dessinées québécoises sont présentes. C'est juste une question de distribution généralement, mais là maintenant, Popo, il a aussi un distributeur en France, par exemple. Donc c'est plus facile en fait de lire plein de bandes dessinées depuis la France que depuis un autre pays.
She was asking if the French are also open to comics from elsewhere, and what Louis was explaining as France and Belgium are a region that is one of the more open to comics from elsewhere. As he said, manga accounts for about 30% of the readership, superheroes for 10%, and there are translations for a lot of works from all over. And she was asking about Quebec comics, which are now more available in France than at any other time.
Oui, je crois qu'en Europe, la France est le pays qui traduit le plus de choses et qui publie le plus de dessinateurs étrangers de tout genre, en fait.
So France is the country where there is the most translation of comic books from all over, and that publishes authors also from different countries.
Le gouvernement ne peut pas recueillir des réfugiés syriens, mais il est d'accord pour publier des bandes dessinées étrangères.
So the government don't want refugees, but they're open to publishing from.
Justement, ça dépend pas du gouvernement. C'est pour ça.
Yes.
Do you find that the academic market in France, do you find academics are more interested in comics and in actually looking in comics and using them as a research method, not just as sort of something to analyze, as a literary or narrative device? Does that make sense?
I don't know.
There's a lot of scholars who are working on comics in France. Maybe not so much publication about it, but since years, comics has been taken quite seriously in France, and so at least from the 60s and in the 90s and until today, it's just even is more work about it. I mean, I receive quite often mails from young students that are working, or young or older, that are working on comics, and quite a big, so, but there's no market for this, or very, very little.
Depuis à peu près 15 ans, il y a le ministère de l'Éducation qui donne des listes de livres à lire dans les écoles. Et dans cette liste, il y a chaque année à peu près 5-6 bandes dessinées, alors qu'avant ça n'existait pas.
Since 15 years ago, the Ministry of Education gives out a list to schools of books to study, and there's always 5 or 6 comics in it.
There's grants also for scholars to work on comics.
I would also just add that there is, I think, a higher degree of public engagement with French scholars and intellectuals through festivals, through museums. So you think of people like Thierry Grunstein, people who publish monographs into the comics market, but also bring back occasionally marginal works like Martin Bon James's work through Impression Nouvelle. So there is that kind of public engagement with a lot of French scholars who are interested in comics that we sometimes, unfortunately, don't see in North America.
L'engagement dont tu parles par rapport au festival, il ne vient pas du gouvernement. C'est simplement que le festival de bande dessinée, il y en a à peu près 3 ou 4 par week-end en France organisés, et c'est ce qui coûte le moins cher à une municipalité à faire.
So the presence of that many comic festivals in France, because there's 3 or 4 per weekend, is not an engagement per se, but it's for many communities a cheap way to do entertaining in their community.
Si on fait un festival de musique ou de cinéma ou n'importe quoi, on invite des gens et après il faut les rétribuer pour faire leur travail sur place. Nous, auteurs, on paye le billet de train, on paye à manger, on paye l'hôtel, mais c'est tout. Donc c'est assez... c'est pas cher.
So if you do a theater or a music festival, you have to pay a lot of people to have a program of activities. But if you do a comic festival, you just pay for the train or the airfare and then food, and you have people who sign all weekend.
Et généralement, les auteurs de BD, comme ils sont toujours tout seuls, ils sont très contents d'aller en festival et de manger des chips et des cacahuètes.
So as a comic book is a solitary work, authors are really happy to go for a weekend and eat just chips and peanuts.
Bon, je me souviens d'un festival où on avait été invité, c'était au Mans, je crois.
À Angers.
À Angers, oui, c'était le terrible festival d'Angers. En fait, on était logé dans l'hôtel de l'organisateur du festival. Il avait une copine, et c'était les parents de la copine de l'organisateur du festival qui tenaient l'hôtel où on logeait. Enfin, tout était fait en famille et tout.
Et pour les repas, on avait des sandwichs
au jambon. On avait des sandwichs au jambon.
So he remembers the terrible festival in Angers, where they were hosted in the hotel of the family of the organizer, and they were just the only food was ham sandwiches and chips.
We have time for maybe one final question. There's one I thought I saw.
I was wondering what the relationship's like between like Quebec and France when it comes to comics, because a friend of mine was describing having trouble because her French dialect couldn't be read by much of the comic readers in France.
Non, je pense pas. Je pense qu'il y a beaucoup d'auteurs qui sont publiés. Moi, par exemple, je suis éditeur aussi chez Delcourt, et j'ai publié Pascal Girard, Iris, Sviane et Jimmy Beaulieu. Il y a un peu de dialecte dedans, mais c'est charmant.
So, as an editor for Delcourt, he published a couple of authors like Sviane, Iris, and Jimmy Beaulieu. But Michel Rabagliati also has a good readership in France. But I can add also that there are successes of comics in Quebec, like La Jean Jean, which is a huge success in Quebec, around 1 million copies sold, and it's really unknown elsewhere in France or Belgium. So we have the same thing that we said earlier, that really big cultural differences. But comic books that are published in Quebec don't always get a readership in Europe, because the language, but the culture also.
Et moi j'étais plusieurs fois au Québec et à chaque fois j'étais effaré du prix des livres français vendus au Québec. C'est à peu près multiplié par deux. Et j'ai fait un partenariat avec les éditions Popo pour qu'ils publient en français les livres que je fais aussi en français, mais qu'ils les publient directement sur le territoire québécois, de façon à ce que ce soit le même prix, voire même moins cher au Québec.
Yeah, one of the problems on the Quebec market is that the European books that come in are really expensive. So it's about twice the price that the cost of the same book in Europe. So Louis made a partnership with Pau Pau Edition to publish his books, some of his books in French in Quebec, so that the cost of the book would be more accessible.
Julie, I wonder if you have some thoughts on...
Don't have much to add, but it's just obvious that some things are more exportable than others, and the other way around is also true. I guess if I go to France, I don't know, very local production might not speak to me as much, or I might not understand everything. And probably in Quebec also the market is much smaller. Maybe we tend to
put forward?
Yeah, to put forward our own production, just because it's sure.
But there is, Julie is a nice example of that. There are numbers of Quebec authors that are published outside of Quebec. Julie is published in France. Jimmy Beaulieu was published at Delcourt. So
Guy Delisle.
Guy Delisle, which is an author from Quebec, is well known in Europe. So there is a lot of examples of that. So it's not necessarily the books that are published in Quebec that get exported, but it's the talent.
I think wrap up. Just before we wrap up, I'll remind you that all of the authors will be speaking again through the weekend. They're all will be signing books at various times at their publishers over in the main library. Yvonne has another talk this afternoon. We'll be talking about his book, Yellow Negroes. David has a talk on another panel tomorrow about adapting the classics. Julie is on a panel tomorrow morning, I believe, on Quebecois comics. And Louis and Brigitte will be talking about Poppies of Iraq tomorrow afternoon at 2:45. I think my final question would be exactly on this question about the local and the way that it gets translated. And I had about 5 people last night say, you must absolutely ask the French to explain to us why is Richard Corbin elected president of Angoulême? Because I think to Americans and Canadians that we would not have guessed that he would be the 5th American to achieve
it's
because he's the best.
Yes, we are still wondering why, but we are still wondering why Emmanuel Macron is president. It's French.
Okay, please join me in thanking our guests this morning, and please do subscribe.